Let's play the game. Luke and I made our way past the guard post. It was only a matter of time before we reached the tower itself, and the trial must have started by now. I have the utmost confidence that Mr. Wright will do all he can to defend Miss Cantabella. I believe the key to saving Miss Cantabella lies somewhere within this tower. We must press on before it is too late. So yeah, as I mentioned in the chat, I nearly doubled the amount of trivia questions. If today's last, I mean, not very often that those pop up, but I'll put some time into that this weekend. Rendered out all the videos and stuff. This is. Alright, there's like a speck on my glasses. It's so quiet in here. There's not a sound to be heard. Be very careful though, Luke. The puzzle we just dealt with is not necessarily the only one in place here. Right you are, Professor. Let's proceed with caution. Gotta move real cautious. Also, I was like giga close to streaming on Sunday, and I was like, you know what? I'm good, dog. I'm good. Oh, this is controlled. I understand what good it does to have a tower this high. Yeah, got everything. Is this what I think it is? It looks like a lift. I'm pressing the X button. Indeed it does. It looks a lot like the kind of lift with which we are well acquainted. But we haven't seen anything else like this since we arrived in Labyrinthia. Yes, quite. In truth, I didn't think machinery of this sort existed here. I wonder what it's using as a source of power. Well, since there seems to be no other way up, does that mean we get to ride it? Indeed, that would seem most logical, course of action. I must say I find the presence of such a device most intriguing, but we can't stand around pondering such things now. There will be time for that later. Onwards and upwards, my boy. Right then, let's go. I know I keep saying this, Luke, but bear in mind that we must proceed with caution. I'm with you on that one, Professor. Gotta move real cautious. That was going to be a puzzle to operate things. Professor, we've stopped. What's going on here? Are we trapped? No, I don't believe so, Luke. Although I do get the feeling that something is about to happen. Something, Professor? What do you mean by something? Luke, stand close to me. Okay. A stone statue stands before you. Beneath it lies a panel with what appears to have once been a crest of some kind, now a disjointed mess. Move the panels by touching the arrows that connect them. And arrange the pieces so that the crest is correctly displayed. Move the panels by touching the arrows. Okay. Be careful, as there is a limit to the number of times you can move pieces. What? What? Who did this? Oh. I mean, I still got it, but I didn't see the key up on the other screen.
Let's see
there.
if I've proven myself. Come what may, puzzles are there to be solved.
Correct. You can sense the approaching presence of a formidable foe in the shadows. Oh, we started moving again. Seems this entire lift in itself is another puzzle put in place to protect whatever secrets lie ahead. Don't believe we're in the clear just yet. This may take a while. Stopped again. Another stage of the puzzle? Indeed, that would appear to be the case. I'll take this one, Professor. Alright, but don't overexert yourself. We'll need to work together to solve the rest of this puzzle. Roger that. Is it really that simple? Really that simple?
I've already seen the answer.
That one was underwhelming.
Expect no less from a gentleman.
The previous one was harder than that. I did it, Professor. Yes, certainly did. Well done, Luke. But we're still not there yet, are we? How far is this lift going to take us? Well, judging by all the stages thus far, whoever put in this puzzle in place is certainly keen that we don't reach the top easily. We can't let our guard down. The text is scrolling by itself, by the way. Up again. And allow me to take this one over. 6 turns. Okay. 1, 2. So that's necessary. I guess I'm not going to do the timer for this one. I know the solution. I just need to figure out which one is next, because that's important. Let's see. So this would be the next one. And then this one. And then this one. Puts me at 2 moves left. Which means these are the only spots remaining. So then 1, 2. That should do it.
Let's see if I've proven myself. That was
Excellent.
indeed an intriguing puzzle. That was an exceedingly difficult puzzle.
The next stop must be our destination.
I think you're probably right, Luke.
Well, this is it, Professor.
It seems we have arrived at last.
Wow, this is certainly different. There are flowers and plants everywhere. I can even see a water wheel over there.
It is a beautiful place.
This evening breeze is a little chilly. So, is this the storyteller's garden then?
I think that's probably a safe assumption, Luke. Judging by the abundance of water and rose bushes, it's being well taken care of. I'd be inclined to say the tower seems more akin to a castle.
Who'd have imagined we'd end up in a beautiful place like this? Let's investigate.
Right you boy, right you are, my boy Luke. Investigate, we shall. For it's our duty as gentlemen to snoop into other people's things. I don't think Labyrinthia will have to worry about water shortages anytime soon, that's for sure. Amazingly, it appears the structure was recently adorned with flowers and kept in rather good repair. This must be where the water that surrounds the town is turned into mist, right, Professor? Building is really something else. I guess this part must be the storyteller's house. Espella must have lived here when she was younger. Yes, indeed, this must have been her family home. Family. I wonder if she had any plans to ever come back here. No matter where she goes or what she does, family is family. This will always be her home. I'd say it's likely that she would wish to come back here someday. Suppose so, even if her family was only the two of them. The relationship between Espella and her father may well prove to be an important clue. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. Huh? What's the matter, Luke? It's nothing. I'm probably seeing things, but for a moment there, I thought I saw something moving at the top of the tower. Sorry, it must have been my imagination. Let's go inside, Professor. Okay. It's just my imagination, but I thought I saw something at the top of the tower. I got a little bit of deja vu right there. Doesn't Luke say that in one of the previous Professor Layton games? This appears to be a child's room. It certainly looks that way. From its condition, I'd say it hasn't been used for some time. Presumably, it was used by Espella as a child. Right, so this is where Espella grew up. Something pretty big must have happened to make her leave home so young. Wonder how Espella and the storyteller used to get on together. Espella is a young lady of strong conviction and a kind heart. I'm certain that's because she grew up within a fine home environment. In other words, I'm sure she and her father must have spent some quality time here together. Yeah, I have a feeling you're right about that. For Espella, this place must be full of precious memories. I almost feel we're intruding coming in here like this. But Luke, we have no choice if we wish to save Espella. Yes, suppose that's true. When you put it like that, I guess she wouldn't mind even if she knew. Probably the mother, and then Espella can live happily at the end? I mean, it could be the mama. It could be. My prediction is it's actually going to be the storyteller that's here. Walls filled with artwork from top to bottom. There's not a speck of dust in sight. Oh, I should be looking for hint coins, not hidden puzzles, because there's no hidden puzzles. Zoom in. Crikey. Professor, behind that curtain, there's someone there. Mysterious figure turned out to be just a doll. What a relief, or that's a relief. My heart was in my mouth. Bella must have played with this doll as a child. What's this? Look, Professor, there's a child's picture book here. The title is The First Story. It would appear to be a handmade children's picture book. Wonder if it was written especially for Espella. It may well have been. Evidently, there's a great deal of loving care has been put into the writing and illustrations. How can you tell? There's a bad witch in town. All of the carrots in the field disappeared, and all of the money in the bank was turned into pumpkins. The people of the town had needed to sneeze. People in the town had to put up with all kinds of mischief from the witch. They didn't know what to do. Then one day, a brave young girl appeared, and she said to the townsfolk, "When the witch uses witchcraft, she always uses a big stick, doesn't she? So if we take away her stick, we'll be able to stop her." After hearing this, the people of the town set a trap for the witch and managed to capture her. At her trial, the bad witch said this to the people. "Even now, the legendary Great Witch Bazella is living here in this town. Bazella is the queen of all witches. She is the one who gives us witches life." The townsfolk punished the witch, and peace was restored to the town once more. To this day, Bazella is still hiding somewhere in the town. But the brave townsfolk will not be beaten by the bad witches. Although Patty is practically her mother at this point, could be. Pumpkin meals for lifetimes? I was thinking, if you turn all the money into pumpkins, then wouldn't that just make pumpkins be money? You gotta have some form of currency, and pumpkins are paper. What do you choose? Who would have thought there would be a fairy tale about Bazella? She's a mysterious character, alright. Tell me, Luke, why do you think the author chose to write about Bazella in a children's picture book? Well, maybe make their child behave. Something like, if you don't do as you're told, Bazella will come and get you. Yes, indeed, that is a possibility. Still, I have to wonder, why is it that some lowly witch was caught and not the great Bazella herself? Well, I suppose it is a bit strange. If Bazella herself had been caught, the story could have been brought to a more conclusive ending. Do you think there's some other reason? It's certainly a possibility. I don't suppose there are any other handmade picture books in the room apart from this one. Handmade picture books. I don't see any. I guess that must be the only one, which would imply this book has some special significance. I guess so. After all, it is handmade. I bet she really treasured it. When they say handmade, are they implying that everything else in this town is machine-made? Or maybe AI-made? What are y'all implying here? Do you think it was the storyteller who wrote this book? The handwriting does seem very similar to that of the story. This book appears to have been written with a touch more care and attention, but I imagine it was the storyteller who wrote it. He must have written it as a gift from father to daughter. That actually seems really thoughtful, even if the story itself is a little scary. I'd like to take this book to Espella. Yes, let's do just that, Luke. And we must take good care of it. They introduced that zoom mechanic at the very beginning of the game. And then there was maybe two more times that it was used. And it was never used again up until this point. But that really wasn't even a zoom thing either. So, very, very weird. All these stuffed toys. I believe we've seen all there is to see here. Let's press on, Luke. What do you make of this room, Professor? It's not very tidy. This appears to be the very top room of the tower. The parchment lying on the floor here seems very similar to the type which the storyteller writes his stories. I think we can say with some certainty that this is the storyteller's room. The storyteller's room? I was imagining something a bit grander, like a throne room with all kinds of posh decorations. While I agree that it's a little eccentric, it's unmistakably the study of an author. He probably spent his time here continuously writing those stories. The stories. Wonder what Espella thought of it all. Her father writing stories for the townsfolk, I mean. I wonder if she looked forward to seeing the new stories completed, or if she... the stories were probably a little too mature for the content of a young child. I don't imagine the storyteller would have shown Espella many of them. But in that case, surely she can't have had many opportunities to even talk to her father given how busy he was. Guess that means she was pretty lonely. Must have been hard for her, even knowing how important those stories are for the people of the town. But I don't think it's right. No child should be unable to talk to her with her father. I absolutely agree, Luke. I believe it will be important in the upcoming trial to have an understanding of Espella's feelings towards her father. Professor. Knowing you, Luke, I'm sure you must have a lot of things on your mind at the moment. So if there is anything at all you would want to talk about, you will tell me, won't you? Of course I will, Professor. I'm always ready to listen, Luke. Now then, shall we start investigating this room? Hold on, I gotta see how many hint coins I need. Okay, 3 hint coins. Look at this fish. At least I think that's a fish. And all the hint coins. Papers are strewn about the floor. Strange, it doesn't appear as if they've been written on. From the looks of this room, it appears the storyteller is quite the talented artist. Wow, there sure is a bit of light coming through that stained glass window, huh? Something's gonna crash through that stained glass window. Calling in now. Look, Professor, a photograph. Wait, I didn't think they even had photographs in this town. Indeed, it's not the kind of thing one would have expected to find here. Too right. Certainly haven't seen any cameras about since we got here. There's no doubt that this is a photo, though. What could that mean? Maybe in some way related to the tower being so closely protected. What do you see in the photograph, Luke? There are 2 children, both young girls. Gee. Looks like Dark Claw and maybe Patty, but most likely Espella. Look at that, they both have the oh, there's our link right there. That pendant belongs to Dark Claw. The photo looks quite old, doesn't it? I wonder who they are. Well, one of them is surely Espella. There could be little doubt about that. Hey, you're right. And look at that pendant. It's the same one Espella always wears. The fact that she's continued to wear it ever since shows how important that pendant must be to her. What about this other girl? Do you think she's a friend of Espella's? Indeed, I'd wager the 2 of them were rather close friends at that. They do look pretty chummy, alright. See, they even have the same pendant. A glimpse into Aspella's past. This may well prove to be an important clue. I would like to ask her about it face to face. Let's borrow it for the time being. What if there are any other clues knocking around? Well, I'd say the something that you thought you saw moving earlier is a point worth pursuing. But isn't this the last room in the tower? And I must have just been imagining things. Not necessarily, Luke. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a way of getting beyond even this room. Let's look around more closely. Right you are, Professor. I don't see anything. A puzzle. It's very detailed drawing. They say it's a photograph. A photograph. This is... What is it, Luke? This letter on top of the piano. This was evidence during that trial. That trial, my boy. Yes, the trial about Sir Belduke's death. The trial when you were... Ah, you mean when I was turned into gold. In which case, this letter is the one that the storyteller's owl, Hoot, gave us after we last paid him a visit. Well, yes it is, but that letter was completely blank, wasn't it? Indeed it was. That was meant to be Sir Belduke's suicide note, which he'd addressed to the storyteller. Suicide note, you say? But Sir Belduke's butler swapped the letter for some plain sheets of parchment before it got delivered, and those blank sheets were given to us by Mr. Hoot, who knew something was strange about them. I see, I certainly missed out on some intriguing developments during my absence. The real suicide note was revealed at the trial. But how has it ended up here? Well, I imagine that's quite simple, Luke. It's likely that after the trial finished, the letter was returned to its rightful owner. It was addressed to the storyteller after all. Right, I guess that does make sense. Suppose the storyteller finally had a chance to actually read it then. Yes, in fact, it would be reasonable to assume that he most likely did so very recently. Perhaps even today, while sitting at the piano. What on earth was going through his mind here before that final parade? There's something we're not seeing here. We need to investigate this closely, Luke. What could it be? Surely this is not a trap of some kind. It's unlikely that a trap would be so obvious. Just a moment. There's some kind of puzzle in this piano. There's also the possibility that Belduke is alive. I'm not 100% sure how, but I wouldn't put it past this game. Hey, Epic Otter. Below this stained glass window is written, "When the stars have aligned, the goddess shall pluck her harp, bringing forth her serene song, rearrange the musical notes to create a lovely melody." I don't know anything about music. Okay. So that's not the highest one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are higher than that? How many are lower than that? One, two, three, 4 Or lower than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not correct, though. I obviously see the solution. You know, with the lines going across. Ah, one of those is a red star. Red star is probably this one. Means that goes there. Okay, so 3 line. I just need the last 2, I think. He read the blank letter? He probably read the blank letter and then he read the one that was delivered to him afterwards. Right below, and then that one was high, and then that one was low. Makes me suspicious now. I've been holding off on just taking a screenshot, but I think I need to take a screenshot. This, you know what, we're gonna take a screenshot. Save myself the trouble of just sitting here waiting for this. Although, I guess we'll open up Paint. Paint. Roll V. Okay, now I can actually see things and not have to wait for this. So this one is that one. This one's in between that one. That's curious. And that one is on the line. Yeah, I needed this. That one is on the line. This one is above, that one's there. And that one is the lowest one.
Allow me to show you my puzzle-solving skills.
That's an obnoxious puzzle, because you have to wait for the thing to turn around. Superb! A loud bang rings through the air as the celestial globe adorning the ceiling begins to move.
Look, Professor! A stairway just appeared. Could there be another room above this one?
I have a feeling that the rooftop we saw from the garden continues above here.
Oh, I can see what you mean, Professor. It's really dark in here, but moonlight seems to be coming in from up above.
Well, there's no turning back now. The answer to the biggest mystery of all is surely waiting for us ahead.
I think so too, Professor. I wonder what on earth it could be.
Hedge your bets. Is it Belduke? Is it Espella's mom? Is it the storyteller? Is it the great witch Bazella? Is it a gargoyle?
The next step in the storyteller's story, if I'm not mistaken.
The next step? But the story has already finished, hasn't it?
Not yet, Luke. It's still a little too soon for the ending.
Like a boss. Like a boss. I'm so amazing.
I had a feeling that you, of all people, would make it this far.
It's you!
I thought so. You are still alive.
Professor Layton, I've had enough of your running around, flagrantly contravening the flow of my story. As such, I can no longer ignore your meddling.
Professor!
If that knight couldn't pull it out, man, how can you pull it out?
Professor!
Thank you, my boy.
Battle of Wits. This is not the puzzle number to be battling wits with. Also 70 Picarats. All that the storyteller writes is destined to come true. Your opponent's attacks are no exception. Memorize the storyteller's tale and deflect your opponent's predetermined moves. Enemy knights will appear in accordance with the storyteller's tale. Memorize the order of their attacks and deflect them using the knight's own moves against them. Touch attack icons on the touchscreen below. Afraid your role in the story ends here, Professor. Now allow me to write the tale of your demise. The knight drew his blade. As the battle came to a close, he raised his blade overhead and delivered the finishing blow. Okay. Crap. Isn't that what I did? Isn't that what I did? I guess maybe it changed. Well played, Professor. But how will you fare in this tragic tale? Knight stepped quickly in for his fallen comrade. He slashed quickly, delivering 3 blows before finishing the battle with a 3-hit combination attack. Spin, overhand. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I need a better way to do this. My memory is atrocious. Okay, so there's crap. I wouldn't be able to write this down quickly enough. Alright. The final knight drew his sword. As he attacked, he began to vanish into thin air, his movements veiled in the embrace of shadows. Overhand, spin, poke, flash, overhand. I don't remember what he started with. I think it was overhand slash poke. Overhand. What was the veiled into something of darkness? I think it was an overhand strike. Right. Side slash overhand something. Mentioned that my memory is bad. Stab, slash, stab, overhand, stab. Stab, slash, stab, overhand. I guess stab that. Professor is dead.
Allow me to show you.
It's just a flesh wound.
Skills. Ah, the joy of solving puzzles.
You have today through Wednesday off, which is quite nice. You'll be able to watch a lot of this amazing game. Congrats on your 3 days off. I'm saving my days off for June and maybe July. So sportsy. Professor secretly studies martial arts. Yeah, he knows how to wield a sword and everything. Marvelous. In this case, it would seem that the pen is not stronger than the sword. You suck, fools.
Professor, behind you!
Okay, we're not doing that.
Professor! Professor!
How did you do that?
Well, now, that was close.
Yeah.
Storyteller, I'm afraid that the power of your pen is no longer absolute.
You never fail to impress me, Professor Layton. Just tell me one thing. What exactly are you trying to achieve?
You could say, I'm trying to lift the veil that hangs over the town.
If that is indeed the case, the answer lies in the final story. This very evening, the great witch Bezella will be tried, and all stories will end. You should take your place in the gallery and observe the final trial.
Permit me, if I may, to ask you a question, Mr. Storyteller. Why is it that you are here?
What?
You too should be watching in the gallery, watching as your twisted story unfolds.
My twisted story? What do you mean by that?
You must surely be aware that your story has already become twisted. Take our arrival in this town, for instance. Not to mention our being here at this very moment. Neither of these things could have happened in the story you wrote. In other words, what I am saying is that you are no longer the weaver of the tale.
Dun dun dun. Much for him studying archaeology, we know what he's really doing. Yep. Gotta hold on to your hat as you fall? Absolutely. It is as you say. The story I crafted has indeed been twisted out of proportion by someone else's actions. Not surprised that you realized. It seems nothing passes by those sharp eyes unnoticed. That is exactly why I decided to write the grand finale, to prevent any further distortion. You mean to suggest that by ending the story, you could return this town to its original state? To its original state, you say? I'm afraid that is not the case. The entire truth behind Labyrinthia is sealed by a single spell. That's right, the final spell. Final spell, you say? When that spell is invoked, Labyrinthia's true form will become clear to all. What kind of spell is that? It is a spell that has always been hidden within plain view. What's that supposed to mean? Essentially, the final spell is concealed at the start. Final spell is concealed at the start. What on earth are you talking about? I thought you two took it upon yourselves to unravel mysteries, do you not? Do what you will with it. Very well. Now then, I believe there's just one thing that you may wish to hear from me. And what would that be? Firstly, what would you say if I told you that this twisting of your story is leading towards a grand finale quite different from the one you had planned? What do you mean? This evening, you supposedly gave up your life to the great witch Bezella, did you not? As a result, the person thought to be Bezella is being tried at court this very moment. Now, if you'll permit me to ask, do you happen to know the name of the accused? Naturally, I wrote the name myself. There can be no question. Of course, the name of the accused is Spella Cantabella. What are you saying? You mean my Spella is... Yes, the accused at this evening's trial is none other than Spella Cantabella. That can't be. That's preposterous. Why did he interrupt the storyteller? You know, he was about to say like, oh, it's Darkclaw. But no. Professor Layton has to be a sucker fool. This is your doing. What have you done, Layton? You ask me what I've done, Mr. Storyteller. I am but a solver of puzzles and mysteries. I do not concern myself with scheming. My Spella, why? How is she the accused? Perhaps you ought to go and see for yourself, Mr. Storyteller. Do you think it's a good idea to just stand here lamenting your daughter's fate? What's to be done? Well, Mr. Storyteller, I will be returning to the court. I'd like to witness this grand finale with my own eyes. Yes, before I leave, there is just one thing I'd like to make clear. I do not intend to simply take my place in the gallery and observe the trial. Naturally, there is only one place for me to stand in order to unravel all these mysteries. You mean to say that you will stand as the defender? Unfortunately, the defender's position is already taken. Moreover, Mr. Storyteller, I'm the one who knows the truth. The true identity of the great witch Bezella, that is. How can you know? There is only one place at which I should stand in order to assert such a fact, and that is not on the side of the defense. Surely you can't mean... I anticipate seeing you again soon, Mr. Storyteller. You're gonna be the judge, jury, and executioner. Kick that judge out of there, Mr. Layton. Well, also, you thought this since you don't like platformers generally, but you thought perhaps I could do Tron Identity instead of Pizza Tower. If it's too late to change your choice in that, you understand, though. It is not too late. I actually do not lock in the points until I start playing the game. So I can refund your points and do that. I will throw it out there that I don't know 100% what kind of game Tron Identity is, but I will say that I dislike traditional visual novels more than I dislike platformers. So I don't think you're, if that is a traditional visual novel, I don't think you're upgrading your choice from my point of view. Got a mark.